On today's wrestling news, Edge says goodbye.
WWE's all-time gate record just got broken.
We've got an update on the Cash Wheeler arrest.
And some former AEW champions set to return soon.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? My name is Phil Chambers and I'm joined by Gareth Morgan to talk all things wrestling. But first up, Edge was on SmackDown last night. He obviously wrestled Sheamus, which I still can't get over. He says never wrestled Sheamus before. It seems like those two definitely should have crossed paths at some point in their careers. But he beat Sheamus on the show, but it's what happened after the show that's a little bit more interesting, because obviously he was in Toronto, in his hometown, and he addressed the crowd after SmackDown went off air. He said a bunch of stuff. He started off by just shouting out Sheamus, saying everything he said last week was completely true. He is the reason he got back into wrestling, and he wanted to thank him for that. And get the crowd to thank him as well. He shouts out his trainer, Ron Hutchinson, who was also in the crowd, saying how he trained him for free because Edge couldn't afford his wrestling training at that time. And apparently his trainer also trained Beth Phoenix, and then he obviously met Beth Phoenix through WWE, who is now his wife and mother of his children. But the bit that corresponds to what happens next in Edge's career, it's all been kind of up in the air about what this is. Obviously, the Sheamus match was the last match of his current WWE contract. But what happens next? Well, Edge even has absolutely no idea, apparently. He is still not sure what the future holds. He said he's going to talk to his family, lick his wounds, and see what is best for everyone. But he thanked the Toronto crowd, and he ended it all by saying, I don't think I can make another full run to get here for a match. I'm just being honest with you. But don't let that be a downer, because man, what an experience you all gave me. I will never forget it. When I'm 84 years old and I don't remember much, I'm damn sure going to remember this. And then he thanks the crowd. So unsure about what is next for Edge's career in WWE, outside of WWE. All we know is his contract is up. He's going to go home, figure out what he wants to do next. Maybe he'll come back on a much more limited contract than what he's been doing for the last 3 years. Or maybe he'll go elsewhere, or maybe he just won't wrestle again. Who the hell knows? Right now it's all up in the air.
Yeah, and I just loved what they did really with this episode, the way they paid respect to Edge, because it was great. It wasn't kind of overly over the top sentimental or anything. It was just right. And you had the brilliant video packages, everyone kind of dropping in saying thank you. Cena was there, Cody, everyone was just saluting him, and it shows how much of an impact he's made. We knew that already. Come on, we did know, but it's always nice getting that reminder and just seeing how many people, how many lives he's touched within the industry and just around the world in general. So I loved it. I got really choked up watching the package, the video package, and then just the closing stages of that match. I thought the match was great as well. Just a note on that. The match was brilliant. It was super physical. The crowd was awesome. It was just a great moment all around. And I was just sat there going, oh my, he might not even be gone forever, but I'm already here crying. It was just lovely stuff. I love it when the company and the performer, it just matches up brilliantly, and you get these kind of moments. And yeah, if it is. It's looking like it's very much his last time in Toronto, so if that is the case, then what a way to go out, because they did him proud. It was awesome. It was an awesome
Absolutely, yeah. And I just want to note on this as well, we do have a video coming out later on today at 5 p.m. UK time, which will be midday Eastern, where we just talk about all our favourite Edge moments throughout his entire career. So make sure you look out for that later on today, and let us know down in the comments what your favourite Edge moments are.
Yeah, we all literally gathered over the last 2 hours because we had no idea it was coming, and we just recorded them. We're that dedicated to the cause, my friends. That's what we do. But just on a WWE note, because WWE just in general just seem to break records every single week at this point. And guess what? They did it again. And this time, it's all to do with WrestleMania 40, because the tickets, the general tickets, I believe they went on sale yesterday to the general public, all that kind of stuff. They've been pre-sale the day before and all that kind of stuff, but general public sales, they went out and they managed to move 90,000+ tickets in a day. I believe they might have done this maybe last year as well, but still, it's it's staggering that they managed to move that many tickets in a single day for the upcoming 2-day extravaganza in Philly. And that was confirmed by sports business reporter Darren Rovell on X, TwitX, whatever it is. And he also noted in that tweet that this means that they have actually broken their all-time gate record already, and that was $21.5 million before this. So that was a big moment, and I'm just going to stop it a second because my exposure went really weird then. Sorry. And yeah, it's just a really big moment. Brandon Thurston then would later add how AEW's upcoming All In Wembley show, which is obviously going to be a one-day pay-per-view, that will also likely boast a massive gate, obviously, because it's just, I'm going to get onto those numbers very quickly, but that's going to boast a big gate as well. But it will not be really that close to the $21.5 million number that was kind of mentioned there. So they're not going to get near that kind of huge record-breaking, or like WWE record-breaking gate. Obviously, their record-breaking gate as well. Just on that, though, over the last couple of hours as well, AEW have only gone and broken the record for the most paid tickets for an event ever. They've been edging very closely over the last couple of weeks, and they've finally done it. That record was held by WrestleMania 32, obviously, beforehand, and it's now just been updated. It's now been reported by WrestleTix in their latest update on the attendance that they have now distributed 80,846 tickets. So let's just take a moment there. We are currently living in a time where two separate companies have managed to move over 80,000 tickets each for two separate events in like a matter of months. So what a time to be a wrestling fan, eh?
Yep, absolutely nuts. Obviously, the difference is WrestleMania is 2 nights, so it is 2 shows, and that's where they get the 90,000, and AEW is just the one thing. And
technicalities, Phil, technicalities.
And the reason WWE makes so much goddamn money from these things is their average ticket price is also higher. But it almost makes it more impressive that people are willing to shell out even more money to go to this thing. It's nuts. Yeah, WrestleMania is just a beast at this point. It's absolutely incredible. Hopefully, we'll be going out there at some point. I hope to. I'm definitely going to be pitching our buses as much as humanly possible to try and get out to Philadelphia. But we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, exciting nonetheless. Big things for both companies. It's just nice to see when everything's just up and everything's going well.
Speaking of things going well,
yeah, we've got an update on Cash Wheeler. Obviously, he was arrested yesterday and charged with aggravated assault with a firearm. He was released on a $2,500 bail, and he put in a plea of not guilty. But since then, the arrest report has come out. And so this is from the victim's sworn affidavit about what happened. And I'm just going to read from it mostly because I don't want to get things wrong, just in case. So the victim said he noticed a Jeep Gladiator weaving in and out of traffic, honking its horn. So he moved over to the far right lane to let the Jeep pass. The victim said the Jeep took the right shoulder to drive around him on the passenger side of his vehicle. The victim looked over and noticed a white male with a beard pointing a black semi-automatic handgun out of the driver's window at him with a strong stare. The victim said he feared for his life at this time, and then stated that he slowed down to get out of the way of the firearm and ended up behind the suspect's vehicle. At this time, both were committed to exit the road, and so he took pictures of the Jeep as it turned right onto College Park Drive and began to drive recklessly. After taking the picture, the victim called 911 and gave the vehicle information to dispatch of the details of what occurred. He then explained he couldn't be late for work, and then the officer met him at work. So later on, he was given a randomized photo lineup based on the Elvis system, where basically they took the driving license for Cash Wheeler, his photo, mixed in a bunch of other people's photos that are like similar people, and the victim identified him with 100% certainty, which led to the arrest and the charge. So it should also be noted that the Cash Wheeler has no priors at all before this, and that he doesn't know who the victim is. So there's no sort of like prior engagement with the victim before this event as well. So yeah, that is all we know about what happened so far. So what this means, I mean, we can't really speculate about what's going to happen with Cash Wheeler himself, but what does this mean for AEW? Well, MJF has tweeted something actually about this, saying that he's kind of disappointed how many dorks there are on this app that jump to conclusions so quick. A ton of people's privilege is showing. We're all human, we're all flawed, we all make mistakes. Take it from a guy who's made more mistakes than most. I've had my ups and downs with FTR, but Cash Wheeler is a great dude and a badass. You're getting FTR versus the Young Bucks in front of 80k plus on August the 27th. Talk about that, you dweebs. So at least MJF, the AEW World Champion, is pretty convinced Cash Wheeler will still be at the All In show in London.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we can really unpack. Like, I don't really know a lot about like the law or just any other that kind of stuff. I don't really want to dive into that. It is more a case of, at this point, what's going to happen. And they've got this massive match, like this blow-off match between these two massive teams, and it's going to be really interesting to see what AEW do now. I think I've read that FTR are going to be appearing on Collision, I think, tonight. So I think that's going to be going down as well. So I don't think fascinating is the right word, but I am intrigued to see just how the company handles this, because from the sounds of it sounds like it's kind of caught them off guard. They didn't maybe realize it was coming. So I don't know. I'm just. It shocked me when this popped up yesterday. It probably shocked a lot of people. So we've just got to wait now and just see what happens. I don't really have much more to add to it. So it's one of those kind of stories, isn't it? So I think we will just move on to another AEW story that I could probably talk a little bit more about. There's a bit more information here within the new Wrestling Observer newsletter of just things more related to wrestling. So let's just talk about those. So apparently,
Back in the safety zone.
Exactly. I'm just here in my nice wrestling blanket. Lovely. In a vest. So Jade Cargill and Thunder Rosa, they could be set to return very, very soon. Two former AEW Women's Champions, TBS World Champions. So they are apparently, according to Meltzer, I think it's Jade Cargill in particular, that there's been a lot of talk backstage recently about her potential return to the company. So that's exciting stuff. She's not been seen since dropping her TBS strap to Chris Statlander at Double or Nothing 2023, of course. And then when it comes to Rosa, just a really interesting little point here that Dave did add in his Observer. He said she was planned to challenge for the women's title very quickly after she was cleared, given she never lost it in the ring. So that's, I think, something that a lot of people maybe thought would happen, but now it's interesting to hear that those are looking like the plan. So when she does eventually return, she could be thrown straight into a feud with potentially whoever walks out of All In with the belt, or All Out, or whatever it is. So you never know. And on with that as well, it was said that her back issues were said to be far worse than originally expected. It's not known exactly when she's going to be cleared at this point, but in a recent vlog that she did, though I think it was her vlog, she was speaking to AEW's head physician, Doc Sampson, and she said something like, oh, maybe 3 weeks and 3 weeks away from being cleared. And he was like, well, that's realistic, yeah, that could be a possible target for you. I believe she had a mini match just to kind of put her toe back in the water a little bit. And he was like, yeah, let's just see how you go in the next 3 weeks. And that's a possible target. We can see what happens. So she's not actually wrestled for a year at this point, because I think it was August, and she had a 6 women's tag match. She was teaming with Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm against Emi Sakura, Marina Shafir, and Nyla Rose, and that was on Dark Elevation. So I'm excited to see them both come back. We don't know exactly when, but it's sounding like it's going to be very soon, and that's a good thing all around.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the Thunder Rosa thing. It's been such a long and sort of confusing injury process. And I mean, we can guarantee this because we were hanging out with her in Vegas and Double or Nothing weekend. And like even her, like with all the sort of doctor's things that she's been through, still didn't 100% like know what exactly it was that was wrong. And it's been a long ass road to recovery. So hopefully this is a light at the end of the tunnel and she can get back to doing what she loves to do. We are going to try and hang out with her when All In weekend, hopefully, because they're coming over. Because she's obviously doing all the Spanish commentating for AEW. So she's been doing that while she's been recovering. So hopefully she'll be over this weekend and we can hang out with her again. Because we had a lovely time hanging out with Thunder Rosa, and she sang at Simon Miller. It was really strange. There's a video in our shorts page if you want to go see that. She's got a really
seeing that. Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out.
Go check it out. But what else? Go to Twitter. That's the one you can do, and follow us. You can follow me at Fill My Chambers. I will never call it X.
Yeah. Get me on X GMorgan004. Not 0X, sorry. The lot's coming over me.
Extreme. What does the X stand for?
Exhausted.
Yeah, that'll work. But also, click this video. Where is it? It's going to be here. There it is. Click this video to continue your watching journey, because YouTube really likes it when you watch loads and loads of videos. But most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day.
Bye-bye.